Thank you for being part of our class today. We are still on our cultural series. In our last class, we discussed about cultural similarities in Nigeria, and we'll talk about marriage, and we'll talk about farming, trading, and the rest of them. That marks the similarities in the cultural aspect of our country. Today we are going to talk about the differences. They have similarities, so also they have differences in cultural beliefs or cultural system. So today we will discuss about 7 of them: religion, cultural differences in religion, dressing, food, greeting pattern, arts and crafts, language, and then occupation. Let's start the class with the very first one, religion. In the similarities, I told you that all of them believe in a supreme deity, God. But what is the difference in religion when it comes to different ethnic group or cultural group? We have 3 dominant religious groups in this country: the African traditional religion, Christianity, and Muslim. And so for each cultural group, they practice different religion. If you are an African traditional worshipper, your pattern of worship is different from a Christian who believe in Christ and God. And your pattern of worship will equally be different from one who is a Muslim who believe in the Quran. The Christian believe in the Bible, the Quran believe, the Muslims believe in the Quran, and the African traditional religion believe in their handmade gods. So for each cultural group, or for each form of worship that is being carried out by these different cultural groups, there is difference in their form of worship. Those in the north are mostly Muslims. Those in the south are mostly Christians. And a mixture of those in the south, those in the middle belt, and those in selected area practice African traditional religion. Another one is dressing pattern. A core Hausa man cannot dress like a core Igbo man, or Robo person, or an Isoko person, or a Calabar person, a thief person. No. Sometimes we identify a cultural group by the way they dress. So that is a difference in the way we perceive culture. Their dressing pattern differs in different cultural groups. So just like Hausa, Isoko, Yoruba, Igbos do not dress the same, they dress differently, and that marks their differences. Their pattern of food. The Igbo man will eat oha soup, or kazi, ofe onugbo. The Hausa man will talk about tuwo shinkafa. The Yoruba person will talk about ewedu, amala, igbegiri, and the rest of them. So they have different food pattern. They don't eat the same thing. Even if we have general food we eat, they have this particular kind of food that is peculiar to their community. An Urobo person will eat owo and starch. A typical Kwani person will eat akpu and egusi soup, or nsala soup. So we have difference in our food pattern. That's another cultural difference. What about our greeting pattern? A Yoruba man can prostrate before an elderly person as a form of greeting. The woman can bend over as a form of greeting. The Igbo man might not prostrate, but they have a way of breathing. They have their normal handshake, they take the back hand or the normal front hand. The Urobo and Isoko were equally bent while greeting. So for each cultural group, they have their pattern of greeting, how they greet, and how it stands out according to their own cultural belief system. So our pattern of greeting is not same. It is not the same. Your culture might not greet the same as my culture, and your culture might not greet the same as my culture. So we have different in our greeting pattern. That's another cultural difference in their form of greeting. Then the next one is the arts and crafts. The arts and crafts. All ethnic groups have their own kind of craft. The Yorubas, we see them doing this tie and dye. We see some other cultural group that do weaving. They weave baskets. They are good in such craft. Then we get to other cultural groups too. They are good in their own form of craft. Your craft might not be my own craft. Those who live in the riverine area, you see them making boats with normal wood. They go to the bush, they follow the wood, and they make boats. That's their form of craft because that's what they use there. We see those who weave baskets because that's what they do there. So it all depends on where we come from. We have those who weave. They use this hand weaving knitting needle to weave. Each cultural group have something they are known for. They do it with pleasure. We have those who produce band, drum, because that is their own cultural craft. Now we're going to the next one, language. It's the number 6 one. One dominant state in Nigeria that have diverse language is the Delta area of Nigeria. Delta State in particular, they have variety of, they have a number of language groups among these states. This particular state, they have different language groups. We have the Urobos, the Isokos, the Anyocha, the Ika, the Ukwane, they have the Chekiri, the Jaws, and many other dialects that are found herein. Also, other parts of the country still have their language. Igbo is not the same as Hausa, it's not the same as Yoruba. There's variety in language. I might not understand your language, you might not understand my own. So it is a cultural differences because it's a form of communication system that takes place within those who understand the language. And so if I don't understand you, there's no way I can understand what you're saying. So language barrier is another cultural difference in our culture. We have our own language, we have our own dialects, we have our own way of communication. And the last we have here is occupation. Occupation. In the north, we see people who are herdsmen that take care of their cattle. They go out there to raise these cattle. That is their form of occupation. We see people too going into fishing. Some part of the Igbo area they fish. Some part of those in the middle belt they fish. That's another thing. So occupational difference comes into play because we don't carry out the same occupation. I might be a fisherman. You might be a farmer. Though it's the same line of farming, but it differs. There are those who are traders. There are those who are farmers. There are those who are teachers. There are those who they do one thing or the other. Their occupation differs. So each cultural group have different occupation. There might be similarities in occupation, but there might be differences in occupation. What we do for a living, our occupation, what brings food to our table, we all don't do the same thing. We do different things. So these are the cultural differences we have in this country. We've talked about the similarities, we've talked about the differences. We've talked about the similarities, the differences, the components of culture, and the rest about culture. Today, wrap it up on our cultural class. I hope you have learned a number of things about the cultures we have in Nigeria, their similarities, their differences, their components, how they cut across, how they go between, and the rest of them. We will still go further in other aspects of our social study class. But our cultural topic will bring an end to it. Thank you for being part of our class today. Until we meet again in our other classes, thank you for dropping by. Remember to share our videos. If you have not subscribed, subscribe. Share our videos. Tell people about us. And if you want a comprehensive class of what we have on our channel, you can go to classonlineschool.com. You can purchase it for a token. Thank you for being part of our community.